Now, before we proceed with the actual story, I think it is like fair to give you a little bit of background about what dark web actually is. So for the ones that don't know, this is like the hidden part of the internet, and you cannot access any of it through the ordinary search engines such as Google or Yahoo or I don't know what. So you need special kind of browser which is called Tor, and only through that you can, like have some chances reaching that deep state underwater and ultimately reaching, the thing that you are searching for. But once again, I don't know why a normal person which is completely healthy and sane would ever consider going there, because some really nasty stuff is going on there, man. Really nasty stuff. And when I say nasty stuff, it really means exactly that. So you can basically hire a hitman. You can sell or buy drugs, human trafficking, organ trafficking. You can buy organs on black market. Child films, so you know what kind of films. Animal torture, and a whole bunch of other stuff that would literally completely turn the stomach of a normal person upside down. So, amongst these horrible things, there is something else. And that something else is called red rooms. And what that in reality means is that you can log on into your computer and you can find some kind of link, go in some kind of room, and you can watch live streaming of something very disturbing and sick. So that's something like ranges from, I don't know, like torturing a person to torturing animals or Jesus Christ, who knows what else. But the point is that you can, like access freely or you can pay depending on what kind of server that actually is. One more thing you need to know is that dark web and deep web are like filled with cyber police. So undercover agents that hunt these sick motherfuckers, and basically it is unwinnable war because it is so hard to get into trace, to trace somebody, because they all use some kind of encrypted, codes and encrypted IPs, and you just cannot find them. That is a huge percentage of them. I mean, sometimes it happens that somebody makes a mistake, like it was in the case of Alexander Barter, but, most of the time they just remain hidden. And that is a big problem. Now, this story we're going to talk about today is like connected with some undercover agent. I'm not sure if this story is like the real deal, but I'm gonna say it one more time. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually is. So prepare yourselves, and I hope that you're watching this at night, because otherwise your entire day would be like completely ruined. So let's go. It all starts with one guy who was surfacing dark web. But the thing is that guy somehow unlocked some kind of new level, and he was able to go down even deeper. So he reached what is called shadow web. And on that level, some really sick things happen. Basically, he stumbled upon a bunch of links, and after clicking on those links, he was so shocked from what he saw that he knew he had to contact police, even if that meant he was risking his own safety. So he reaches out to the police, and I don't know if supposedly the FBI or CIA handled the case. So one undercover agent from CIA or FBI. He gets the link, and his supervisors told him basically, you're the man, you're the chief, you're the lead investigator on this case. You're gonna find everything you need to know about it, and if that means you have to watch a lot of this sick stuff, then you have to do it. A couple of days later, he tried to reach to this person which sent him this link, and it was a mail, right? For some new information, additional information. So is there anything else he maybe saw that will ultimately help the investigation? And it turns out that person was found dead in his apartment under very strange circumstances. So that is not a good sign, man. It basically means that somebody was spying on that guy. And the worst thing is, I assume they did it through the laptop camera. So I really feel the urge to, go and tape my camera right now. So anyway, this agent decides to start his investigation, and he has the link from the official website, official page that the guy saw. And one night he sits down, turns on his computer and logs into through the Tor browser. Now, when he got there were like 10 other links of live streams. So different rooms, and they all had different titles. But our guy decides he wants to click on a link which is titled The Saulty Snail. He clicks on the link, right? And immediately black screen appears. And it took like 10 or 15 seconds before anything popped out. Now, what popped out is like a dark room with a white curtain. So dark room, white curtain, and light in the background. A few moments later, somebody, pulled the curtains and walked towards the camera. And it was, I don't know, some kind of clown, but it was only a mask. So basically, he wore like a very dirty clothes. He was very dirty. He was, fat and pretty much overall disgusting. And he had like a really bloody apron. So that immediately is like not a good sign. Now, he first laughed and thanked all members which are there and currently watching, and basically said, this is a 15-minute stream, you're gonna watch on only 50 minutes, and after that we're done. But I am the boss. So what the fuck was that supposed to mean? Alright, so let me explain briefly. When you surface, when you have interest in watching these kind of things, there is also option that you log in live, and you're able to communicate with the guy, and basically you decide what's gonna happen next. So you're interacting the whole time. But this was like, I'm the boss, I'm doing all, you're just here and you're watching. Now, when that little introduction was over and the rules were set, then he walked back behind the curtains and briefly returned with a black barrel. Now, he dragged the barrel and placed it in front of the camera, and he briefly walked around it and basically yelled and hit it from the different angles, and it appears that something was in. So by this point you can presume what was in. He opened the barrel and inside was a small female, so it looked like it was a female of Asian descent, and he quickly yelled like, get the hell up. So the girl was like submerged in water, and she was like really, really weak and normally disoriented. She was also tied and her mouth were like taped. So even if she wanted to scream, nobody would like hear anything. So he briefly looked into the camera and basically said, doesn't she look delicious? And then he looked back into her eyes and she basically knew what was coming. And at that point, the people that were watching were like really, really engaging. They were all like saying, like, yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what's next. And the next thing was unsettling. He goes one more time behind the curtain and brings back a knife and a cleaver. So the thing that butchers use. Then he looked into the camera and said one more time, like, we're going to have some fun and I'm so hungry. Now, the really disturbing part starts. He then started to cut the parts of her body. And by the informations, it was like the small parts in some kind of cubicles, I don't know. So he started with, I don't know, shoulders, and then he cut off some portions of her arms. Then he cut some portions of her stomach, and the poor girl is like there screaming, but it was of course like muzzled scream because she had tape all over her mouth. And then he cut off one of her breasts. Now again, while he was doing that, the people are watching, and there were comments like she looks so delicious, and and I would give like everything to be right there with you and doing the same thing. And one of them actually said, can I be next? So yeah, it's a whole bunch of disturbing and sick people, and that's all you need to know. Now he placed all that meat in some kind of bucket which was right beside, and while he was doing that he was constantly like laughing into the camera and saying, I'm having such a good time, I will do this again. After he finished with, cutting all the meat that he wanted, then he brought a shiny plate and transferred all the parts there, and the plate was just full of various parts, body parts, and like skin. Jesus Christ, I think I need a small break. If you think that was it, it wasn't. Then he brought salt and poured the salt all over her open wounds. So can you imagine the pain in that particular moment? So the girl was alive the whole time while he was cutting off meat, and then he brings salt and pours the salt all over her wounds. That is the next level shit right there. After that, she was like basically unconscious, because you cannot tolerate that kind of pain threshold. And then he, basically put her back into the barrel, closed the barrel, and that's it. He got the white curtain from the back, like covered the barrel with it, placed his plate in front of him, light up a few candles, pulled a chair, and started eating. He looked in the camera one more time and basically laughed and basically said, like you thought that I'm gonna murder her, so I'm not a murderer. While he was eating, the camera started slowly rolling back from the table, and at what point it just said like, until the next time. And the next footage was like completely black screen one more time with the letters offline. And that's it. The stream was done. I don't know, man. If this is like the real case, the real thing, then this planet deserves to be hit by some kind of giant meteor and completely disappears forever. And that's it. And even if it's not, it's so like unsettling that I just feel nervous right now. I feel nervous because I know for a fact that similar things exist. So similar things exist and they're all hidden on the dark web. And the scary part is, dark web is not some kind of, simulation. It is our very, very real world. And we live in the same world as these people, man. I think I'm done. But I'm done only for today. So I, planned like for this to be series. So I have a lot of different stories and a lot of different cases which I wanted to cover. And if you're interested, I'm just going to continue doing that. In the meantime, what I can do, I can recommend a pretty good movie which is called Unfriended Dark Web. I think that's the name because I watched it like 3 or 4 years ago. But basically, if you don't know anything about the whole concept of hidden internet, then this movie is like the really eye-opening kind of thing. And once again, after watching that movie, I immediately felt the urge to tape my laptop camera. And I'm completely sure that you will do the same thing, because it's so convincing and it's really eye-opening what the hell is out there, man. And it's not pleasant, really, believe me. So I guess that's enough for today. This casual detective, which is, at this point, like really creeped out, signing out for today. But don't worry, because I'll be back. Until the next time, stay safe.